agonizing sound cut through the air, the raw, frantic shriek of a mature bald eagle. She was grounded, completely defeated. One massive wing was viciously snagged, locked deep into the razor-sharp edge of the metal railing. Blood darkened the iron. She thrashed, a final surge of instinct, but the movement only caused a sickening, tearing pain. Her head dropped, her powerful body trembling with exhaustion and fear. She was trapped, bleeding, and utterly helpless. Then came the true horror. A fuzzy, awkward fledgling, the baby eagle, dropped from the nest. It saw the locked wing, the creeping bloodstain, and its mother's silent despair. The baby's cry instantly transformed. It became a high-pitched, desperate, choking plea, a sound that screamed for intervention. The small bird rushed toward the railing, nudging the trapped wing, then spun around to face the main pathway. It screamed, turning its head, appealing directly to the oblivious flow of mourning humanity. It was an unmistakable, pure request. Someone, please look. Please help my mother. But no one stopped. The parade of mourning joggers and walkers focused on their routine, simply flowed past. Some averted their gaze. Others merely registered the commotion as a strange, wild incident. A few paused, pulled out their phones, snapped photos of the struggling creature, and then, with breathtaking coldness, walked on, leaving the trapped parent and the pleading child to their fate. The baby eagle watched each retreating figure, its throat growing raw, its small body trembling with a panic that was escalating into true despair. The mother, spent and resigned, simply waited for the darkness. It was into this abyss of abandonment that Ranger Cole arrived. He was far down the perimeter, checking a boundary marker, when the distinctive sound reached him. It wasn't the expected aggressive sound of an injured raptor. It was the raw, pleading quality of the juvenile's continuous cry, a sound so human in its utter desperation that it instantly demanded action. Cole abandoned his post and ran. When he reached the scene, the sight was a jolt of shock and adrenaline. The immense, trapped mother, bleeding out, and the small baby, standing guard, directing its frantic attention toward him. Cole knew the extreme danger. This was a crisis. An eagle of this magnitude, cornered and in excruciating pain, could lash out with lethal force. Yet, the baby eagle, in the most profound moment of connection Cole would ever experience, did not recoil. It stepped forward. It walked several deliberate, stumbling steps toward him, making a low, urgent, chittering sound. It looked up at the ranger, then back at its mother. It was an astonishing, pure act of faith. The small creature had chosen its savior and was pleading for the rescue to begin. You are the one. You must start now. Cole felt the immediate chill of fear, not just for the eagle, but for the devastating responsibility placed upon him. He knelt slowly, deliberately, keeping his body low and non-threatening. The mother eagle's head lifted slightly. Her fiercely focused eyes met his, and Cole saw it a decision made in the face of death. She did not struggle. She made the choice to suspend her wild, predatory instinct and yield to the only chance she had. She put her entire trust in this single human. Cole spoke,
I know, girl.
His voice low, steady,
I'm gonna get
and
you out.
utterly committed. I know, girl. I'm going to get you out. Just hold still. He knew the clock was ticking, not just because of the blood loss, but because this profound, fragile trust could break at any second. He retrieved his thick, heavy-duty work gloves, a meager defense, and the specialized metal spreader from his pack. The challenge was immense. Separate the rigid iron bars enough to slide the deep-cut muscle free without twisting the bone or causing more panic. He placed a soft piece of canvas carefully over the most exposed part of the deep wound and began to work. He focused entirely on the eagle's eye, needing to anticipate the slightest movement of fear. He applied pressure to the tool. The metal groaned in protest, a terrifying sound of scraping steel against silence. Cole's arms burned with the incredible exertion. his whole body shaking with the strain. He was acutely aware of the onlookers now, a useless, silent cluster watching the solitary act of courage and compassion. With one final, desperate heave, the iron bar gave way, separating just enough. With the utmost gentleness, Cole eased the bird's wing free from the fatal grip. The mother eagle collapsed immediately, her enormous head resting on the cold earth, completely spent. She did not stir. The baby eagle, however, was instantaneous. It rushed to its mother's side, nudging her head, emitting soft, desperate, comforting chirps. It was an overwhelming, raw display of familial love and relief. Cole moved swiftly and decisively, scooping up both birds. The mother was heavy, limp from exhaustion and trauma. The baby, the courageous protector, pressed itself tightly against its mother's chest, refusing to be separated, even in the transport kennel. Cole looked at the empty, blood-stained fence and then at the 2 lives he had saved. He felt a profound, exhausting wave of relief and responsibility. He had been the one who answered the call. The rush to the wildlife hospital began. The mother eagle's wounds were extensive but treatable. Her muscle was painstakingly stitched, her bone bruised but intact. The fight for her recovery was just beginning, and for every hour of that intense treatment, the baby eagle remained the constant presence. It sat by the enclosure, its eyes fixed on its mother, its unwavering loyalty a powerful fuel for the mother's will to live. The veterinary staff were astonished by the juvenile's devotion,
Not yet.
recognizing that the bond between them was a crucial element in the healing process. They knew the mother survived not just because of the ranger's skill, but because her baby's desperate, pure love had refused to accept defeat. Can you feel the tension in that moment? The split-second decision a wild animal made to put its life in human hands. It's unbelievable. Comment below the bravest thing you've ever seen an animal do. 6 agonizing weeks passed in recovery. The mother eagle healed. The heavy stitches were removed. Her appetite returned, her strength surging. The baby grew strong, its juvenile feathers replacing its down. They began flying together in the massive rehabilitation enclosure, practicing the powerful soaring strokes that defined their species. Then, the morning of the final release arrived. Cole drove them back to the park, the scene of the tragedy now ready to host a triumph. He opened the cage. The mother eagle paused. Then, with a glorious, impossible surge of renewed life, she launched herself into the air. She flew a huge, sweeping circle, an arc of pure, unadulterated freedom. And then, the breathtaking moment that solidified the memory forever. The mother eagle did not simply disappear. She banked sharply, dipped low, and flew a slow, deliberate loop directly over Ranger Cole's head. Right behind her, the juvenile followed, its flight now strong, proud, and absolutely confident. They landed together on the highest, most distant oak branch. The young eagle, the hero of the story, looked down at the single human who had stopped when the rest of the world walked by, and it let out a single, clear, resounding cry, a pure, powerful sound that echoed through the morning air. It was a sound of freedom, gratitude, and an undeniable connection. Cole stood alone, watching them. The incredible intelligence and simple, desperate faith of that baby eagle had saved its mother's life and forever changed his own. That tiny creature's desperate plea was the challenge, and answering it, fulfilling that trust, was the greatest honor the wild world could bestow. Never walk past a silent cry for help. Sometimes, being the one person who stops is the greatest act of courage in the world.